Hi, guys. Miss me?
That's right, bitches. I'm back. Let's talk season 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And oh my god, do they have a lot in store for us this time.
Well, this is just neat.
As I told you guys before, Buffy needed to find its place and its voice.
If the apocalypse comes, beat me.
Season 1 did show potential and did have a few interesting concepts, good dialogue and characters, but overall, it was kind of a mess.
What do you think?
Season 2, however, holy moly. This is the Empire Strikes Back of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It takes everything that worked in the first season and develops it further, while simultaneously adding new interesting characters, plot lines, crazy ideas, and plot twists that will make your jaw drop.
Everything in my head is singing.
The season kicks off with Buffy returning to Sunnydale. After the events of the season finale, she seems hardened and indifferent to everything and everyone around her. But as we soon learn, it's all just a coping mechanism. That's right, one episode in and we're already dealing with complicated character issues. How do you return to a normal life after having been brutally murdered by the Master? Speaking of which, he does show up in a dream sequence. And you know what? That scene alone is better than his entire screen time in Season 1. By the way, while discussing Season 1, I did forget to mention a few things, because they didn't seem that important to me or the overall season. For example, Cordelia's best friend Harmony, who was every bit as much of a bitch as she was.
Oh, Harmony, shut up.
But you know what? I just want to mention her now, because eventually she develops into a rather interesting character.
You're right.
Not this season, though.
Ugh. That's just... Ugh. Ugh.
Second character I forgot to mention was the Anointed One, who I always refer to as the Annoying One, a young vampire child that the Master needed to fulfill his magical bullshit.
Oh.
Well, Season 2 apparently felt the same way about this character as I did, and literally kills him 3 episodes in.
We're gonna have a little less ritual and a little more fun around here.
To make room for not one, but 2 new awesome big bads. Spike and Drusilla, the Bonnie and Clyde of vampires.
Me and Drew, we're moving in.
Right out the gate, you fall in love with these villains. Spike is a shit talker with all the cool one-liners, but at the same time a brawler, a schemer, who already killed 2 slayers in the past.
Once he starts something, he doesn't stop until everything in his path is dead.
So he's thorough.
And now he has his eyes on Buffy.
Who are you?
You'll find out on Saturday.
Happens on Saturday.
I kill you.
Right there, that is how you introduce a character. A character who would continue to grow in popularity and eventually would become a main character on the show. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Drusilla is his lover and a vampire with psychic abilities, who is every bit as crazy as she is dangerous and vicious. She was Angelus, Angel's evil alter ego's masterpiece. He first tortured her and killed everyone she loved before making her insane and ultimately turning her into a vampire.
I did a lot of unconscionable things when I became a vampire. Drusilla was the worst.
Yup, we learned some fucked up shit about Angel. Both Juliette Landau and James Marsters kill it. Both of these characters are epic and their chemistry is off the chain. And that is generally true for most of our characters this season. Cause their interactions and their individual arcs are so goddamn fascinating that it will blow your socks off.
We're having a party tonight.
Buffy, after coming to terms with her demise, still has a lot to deal with this season. She continues to balance her social life, her relationship with her family, and her studies like a champ.
I'm clear. Don't you feel clear?
while also entering a romantic relationship with Angel, a dynamic that expertly pulls the rug from underneath everyone's feet.
Surprise!
But again, I digress. The first couple episodes are Freak of the Week episodes, but even those are way better, way darker, and more fun than the ones from season 1, and we finally explore more demons, mummies, fish monsters like the creatures from the Black Lagoon, and even a rather blatant ripoff of Freddy Krueger. Most of these standalone episodes work surprisingly well. To be honest, season 2 has only one episode that I flat out fucking hated.
Grow up.
The episode Bad Eggs came out of left field, dealt with weird demonic eggs, and attempted to be as engaging as Alien, while being as laughable as The Room.
What a story, Mark.
But to make up for this piece of shit, the season first of all features one of the best storylines of the entire show, while expertly incorporating a lot of the Freak of the Week episodes into the main storyline, so they don't feel as isolated.
Okay.
The season also introduces concept episodes. Episodes where a spell or some kind of magic affects everyone, or at least the majority of our characters.
I cannot believe that you are fool enough to do something like this.
Oh no, I'm twice the fool it takes to do something like this.
The very first Halloween episode, for example, introduces the character of Ethan Rayne, an old acquaintance of Giles. He sells cursed costumes to our main characters, who suddenly turn into their respective costumes.
Oh, this is fun.
An amazing concept that shows us a frightened little princess Buffy and a badass soldier Xander.
You take the princess and secure the kitchen. Catwoman, you're with me.
But I don't want to go with you. I like the man with the musket.
Come on.
Do you have a musket?
Naturally, this season demands more from the cast, and luckily, they can keep up with the phenomenal material. Speaking of Ethan, though, he also exposes Giles, who we all assumed to have been Mr. Goody Two-Shoes all along, but turns out that Giles had a dark past and used to be part of a group of individuals that summoned demons for the fun of it. Back when people knew him as Ripper.
Hello, Ripper. I thought I told you to leave town.
But facing one's past is one of the most crucial elements of Season 2. Buffy had to come to terms with what happened to her in Season 1, and Giles had to learn that he can't hide from his past no more. He actually becomes less stiff in Season 2, more of a father figure to Buffy rather than simply her watcher. His relationship with Jenny Calendar grows, and you know what? Not only is she an amazing and layered character, but they actually have terrific chemistry. But Jenny also has to come to terms with her past, as it were her people who cursed Angel with his soul.
You don't remember everything you've done for 100 years. In a moment you will. The face of everyone you killed.
The real reason she came to Sunnydale to begin with was to make sure that his soul was still there and that he's still suffering. Cordelia also grows this season. She frequently helps our friends out and falls in love with Xander of all people.
I hate you!
I hate you!
Once again, amazing chemistry and amazing concept. The Queen Bee and the nerd make an awesome couple, and the dialogue is as sharp as ever.
Forget about the bugs, okay? The memory of your lips on mine makes my blood run cold.
If you dare breathe a word of this.
Like I want anyone to know.
Then it's a race.
Never happened.
Good.
Good.
Good!
Willow finally gets over Xander as a new character who I adore is introduced. Oz, played by Seth Green. Not only is he a perfect match for Willow, but he soon becomes part of the Scooby Gang.
Vampires are real. A lot of them live in Sunnydale. Will fill you in.
I know it's hard to accept at first.
Actually, it explains a lot.
Works well with the rest of the team, and oh yeah, right, he's a fucking werewolf. But just like with vampires, they got their mythology down. Oz is not evil. He's just an uncontrollable rage monster 3 nights a month, which is why he decides to be locked up during these nights. I did mention a lot of romantic storylines, but even though these plotlines seem extremely cheesy when being described by me, but trust me, they're not. They feel real. Sometimes they're purposely funny, and sometimes They are downright dramatic. For example, during the episode Lie to Me, an old flame of Buffy comes to Sunnydale.
If you guys already had plans, would I be imposing?
No, only in the literal sense.
The audience thinks that these two will become a thing, so that we can have a shitty love triangle for the sake of it. But you know what? We don't. We learn that he does actually know about vampires and Buffy's role in this battle, which is why he makes a deal with Spike. Why, you ask? 'Cause he's dying from a brain tumor, and he's willing to deliver innocent victims to Spike in return for an eternal life as a vampire. That is some truly dark stuff.
Does the nest of tumors liquefying my brain kind of spoil the fun?
I'm sorry. I had no idea. But what you're doing is still very wrong.
And as dark as it gets, we also have some levity in the form of a hilarious episode called Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. One of the funniest episodes of the entire show. Xander, being pissed at Cordy for dumping him, seeks Amy's, the witch from season 1, help to use a spell on her, but it backfires. Every girl and woman, except for Cordelia, falls for him.
Buff, give me a heart attack.
Oh, I'm gonna give you more than that.
That episode shows how good the show is at comedy.
Every woman in Sunnydale wants to make me her cuddle monkey, which may sound swell on paper, but...
Rupert, we need to talk. Hey, Xander. Nice shirt. Look, Rupert, I know that you're angry at me, and I don't blame you, but I am not just gonna go away. I mean, I care far too much about you two. Have you been working out?
As I said, not only do most of these standalone episodes work, but the continuity is outstanding. Buffy's death in season 1 does have consequences. A new Slayer arrives in Sunnydale to take her place.
You attacked me. Who the hell are you?
I'm Kendra, the Vampire Slayer.
Which makes sense, because as we learned, every time a Slayer dies, a new one awakens.
She died? Just a little.
This new Slayer is called Kendra, and she actually knew about having the potential of becoming a Slayer way before she became one, which is why she trained her entire life, avoided social contact, and is a straight-up warrior. Both the character and the actress are fine additions. Only thing that bothered me was her Jamaican accent, which sounded fake as hell.
That's me favorite shirt. That's me only shirt.
But I did read up on it, and apparently it is a very distinct accent from a particular region in Jamaica. What do you guys think?
Thank you for the shirt. It was very generous of you.
Season 1 already introduced Mr. Flutie's replacement as principal in the form of Snyder. And this may piss off some fans, but I never liked the character. I know he's not supposed to be likable, but in a show that has vampires, demons, witches, werewolves, and so on, he is the one character who seems unrealistic. He's just a dick for the sake of being a dick.
Is that how you show your school spirit?
And hates on Buffy, so she has another thing to deal with.
These are the moments you want to savor. You wish time would stop so that you could live them over and over again. You're expelled.
I remember vividly watching the show for the very first time. I always thought that they would do something with the guy, reveal that he's a demon or something. But no, he's just a dick because of reasons. But now let's get to the meat of season 2. The biggest surprise, which comes in the form of an episode that is literally called Surprise.
Happy birthday, Buffy.
Buffy is turning 17, and she keeps on having horrible nightmares about Angel's inevitable death. As Spike and Drew plan their latest scheme, Buffy and Angel barely escape with their lives. And for the first time in their relationship, they have sex. You see, that curse that was cast upon Angel for killing a gypsy girl was meant as a punishment. He was meant to suffer for everything that he did. And a moment of true happiness was not part of the punishment. Quite the contrary. It is actually what breaks the curse. So after the single most romantic moment of the show so far, we have the introduction of hands down the best villain of the entire series. Angelus, the soulless angel, and boy oh boy is he a dick. First, he teases Buffy as if he was simply a dick who never wanted her to begin with.
You got a lot to learn about men, kiddo. Although I guess you proved that last night.
But then he becomes a full-on stalker and strikes against everyone she cares about. Jenny, feeling guilty for her involvement in all of this, tries to restore his soul and gets fucking murdered by him. Yeah, he straight up murders her.
I never get tired of doing that.
But it doesn't end there. He decorates Giles' place with roses, leaves a letter for him that he believes came from Jenny, and upon reading the romantic invitation and hearing the beautiful music coming from his bedroom, a smitten Giles goes to his room only to find the lifeless body of Jenny in his bed. Angelus then waits outside of Buffy's house to see her and Willow's reaction upon hearing the bad news, and laughs his ass off. He also replaces Spike as Drew's lover, so he's even a dick to his own vampire family.
If there's anything I can do for you, any responsibility I can assume while you're spinning your wheels, anything I'm not already doing, that is.
That's enough!
The season ends with a spectacular two-part finale, in which we finally get a glimpse into Angel's past. We see how Darla turned him, how he mentally tortured Drusilla before she became a vampire, how he was cursed by the gypsies, and how a mysterious good-hearted demon named Whistler saw potential in the brooding Angel and introduced him to Buffy and the Good Fight. As evil Angel intends to send the entire world to hell, Willow of all people attempts to restore his soul. Our little cute wallflower has made her first steps towards being a powerful witch. How awesome is that? The first part actually ends with Angelus luring Buffy away from her friends while Drusilla strikes, killing Kendra. Yup, they already killed two major characters. Spike, of all people, joins forces with Buffy, under the condition that he can flee with Drusilla. He's a different kind of vampire. While Angelus is pure evil and loves nothing more than destruction, Spike is a killer who enjoys living on Earth. As he puts it,
We like to talk big. Vampires do. I'm going to destroy the world. It's just tough guy talk. Strut around with your friends over a pint of blood. The truth is, I like this world. You've got dog racing, Manchester United, and you've got people. Billions of people walking around like Happy Meals with legs.
Buffy faces off with Angel and the duel is phenomenal. The action is so much better than it was in season 1, but of course it ends tragically. Angelus opens a portal with the power of his own blood that is meant to suck the entire world into a hell dimension. And while engaging Buffy in a sword duel, Willow is able to restore his soul. The Romeo Angel is back and he and Buffy share a kiss. But since only Angel is able to close the portal, she runs him through with a sword and sends her returned and resouled lover to hell. This season is epic. It has the right amount of funny moments, right amount of grit, engaging standalone episodes, phenomenal villains, charming new characters, and continues to flesh out our already established heroes. Never before have I seen such a difference in quality between two seasons. But if Buffy Season 1 was not your thing, check out the second one. Trust me, it's worth it. Season 3 will get its own video, but that's a video for another time.